Hello and welcome to the Walk in Love podcast. I'm TJ.
And I'm Brooke.
And today we are going to talk about passions. I kind of started abruptly. I think that's right.
Yeah.
I was trying to find a...
What?
We're starting abruptly. I was trying to find a soundbite.
Oh.
I have done nothing wrong, ever.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for making us a part of your week. And thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for doing all the things. Pre-thank you for buying t-shirts on October 14th when the Christmas collection goes live.
I'm into the pre-thank you.
Yeah,
I might add that into my life. I'm going to pre-thank you for buying that diamond necklace I'd like at Christmas. Thank you.
Hey, just a pre-thank you for cleaning up the desks in the office. I really appreciate that. You know what? I'm going to pre-thank you for that back rub that you're going to give me later.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Yeah. Well,
And while I'm at it, while I'm
generous.
pre-thanking you for the back rub, I'm going to throw in a pre-thank you for the foot rub. And
I feel like the pre-thank you is going to lose its shine real quick.
I'm going to pre-thank you for letting me pick the movie.
Actually, I pretty much always do that. So that's fine.
All right. I like that idea.
There's a little bit of manipulation in it. So that's my sweet spot.
I live on that fence of manipulation and kindness. I'm right there.
I just want to ride that line real strong. I'm kidding. I don't want to ride that line.
I'm going to pre-thank you for not riding that line.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So thank you for listening. The Christmas collection, the last collection of the year that we will do, launches October 14th. We have about 3 podcasts until it comes out, or 4.
I think
Not
3.
sure, which sounds insane.
In the membrane.
Insane in the brain. But so here's something that we're going to try. I'm giving the podcast audience the first glimpse into what we're going to do. Okay? Are you here for it? Can I do it?
Yeah. I'm surprised that you said the word try.
Oh yeah, we're not going to try. We're going to do this. Sorry.
Okay, I was like, but we are.
Yeah, sorry. We're starting something new with our Instagram specifically. So Instagram came out with a new feature called subscriptions, and they said we got a notification that was like, you're eligible for subscriptions. So I clicked on it, and
click.
Hold on.
I go online, I go click.
And I learned that at least at the beginning, Instagram's not taking a cut. So then I was like, I am intrigued.
Yes.
And then I really started to think about okay, if we did a subscription for for content, what would that look like? What would be the most beneficial to our audience?
Yeah.
I didn't want it to just feel like something cheap and not worth it. And so here's what your subscription.
So we talked about it a lot.
We talked about it a lot. We've been talking about it. And we kind of boiled it down to 4 categories that we're going to include in the subscription that we're going to do on Instagram.
Yes.
And I think that's the best place for it. One, because that's where you probably already follow us. That's probably where you're already checking. And they have it built so you can do videos, you can do posts, you can do stories. So you can just interact a lot of ways with a subscription. And I think that will...
Because I've never done this.
Okay.
If you subscribe, to someone's Patreon.
Yeah.
Where do you see the things? In Patreon.
In Patreon.
It's a separate app.
It's a separate app, or you'd get an email, because I've done it before.
I know you have. Yeah. Okay.
You get an email that there's something new on Patreon, and and
I'm not anti-Patreon. I'm just asking
for
for somebody who might have had a subscription like that. The cool thing about this is that it's built into Instagram.
It's built in. So we're going to do it. Not we're going to give it a shot. We're going to do it. And I think it's going to be, honestly, I think it's going to be some of the best content we've ever done.
I'm excited.
One, we now have a nanny house manager that started this week. Abby is here.
Manager.
That.
Should I get her a little gold name tag?
Yes. She's been here 2 days. And
not even 2 days.
Yeah. A day
2
and a half.
I mean, 1.5 math.
2.5 would be more.
Oh man. What did I say earlier? What was my math?
We were talking about a giveaway, and I was like, well, we could be this. And I'm like, yeah, but that's just I'm like.
Oh, I know. I said I'd be excited about that number, really. And if you doubled it, I mean, I guess it's double. I guess I might be double excited, but I totally negated myself while I was talking.
And so and we're going to talk about this today. But basically the last year and a half, Brooke and I have talked about this. We felt like we did that game where you spin around the baseball bat and then just try to start running.
The game where my uncle broke his collarbone?
Yes. And it's been, and the reason we spun was very good and beneficial. And I think it's been good for our family and our culture. And like, there's just been so many benefits.
Yes. It was like the Lord said, here's a baseball bat.
I'm going to spin you, but you got to run and you got to, you might feel a little dizzy. And that's true. And so with Abby starting and with us in our like second year of homeschool, Daisy turns 1 tomorrow, which is crazy.
I'm sorry. What?
It just feels like now, I honestly feel like in the last week, my brain has gone from like, oh, what's going to happen? Can I even survive? To, oh, it works.
Right.
Like I have a brain. I have
a brain.
I have a good brain. I have a great skull.
True.
But I still have a good brain.
It's in there.
And I think I forgot
it's
about
in there
that.
Clanging around when you go down the hallway.
Leaving. And so the subscription just feels like something that it's like, man, I have a vision for it that I think is so strong.
Yeah.
I'm just like excited about it. And so we wanted to share it with the podcast audience first. And so here are the 4 categories that will be a part of this subscription. And then within those categories, here's our plan as of now. Mm-hmm. Obviously, things will morph and change as we learn and adapt to it. So first there will be
hope that someday Instagram's cut is not 80%.
So here's the first benefit category is going to be shop benefits. The second one will be giveaway benefits. The third one I'm calling coaching benefits. I think that's a good phrase for it. Encouragement benefits. I don't know. I think coaching is a better phrase for it.
Maybe. I'll think about that.
And then the fourth is behind the scenes benefits. So first, the shop benefits. What we're going to do for subscribers, we're going to open up the shop 1 day early.
What?
So yes, kind of like we used to do with the tea of the month for the podcast listeners, but we're going to do this on a huge scale for the collection. Anyone that's subscribing on the Instagram will get like a story post. It's like, hey, here's the password to log in.
Yeah.
Get 1 day early access. And that'll be super beneficial for like, like this tea right here.
Last month.
No, this one. Nope.
The Joy one.
Yep. Joy comes in the morning. There it is.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, that one was like super limited and large. We didn't have very many. It sold out almost instantly. And so like subscribers will now get first dibs on anything like that. And we will have stuff like that in the Christmas collection. It's just kind of the way things are right now.
Yeah.
So shop benefits are 1 day early access. First dibs on anything new that we're launching, even outside of t-shirts. So like, for example, like the T-shirt Academy Masterclass, you would have first dibs on that. We would launch it to subscribers first. If Brooke teaches any classes, if I teach any classes, if we have any like groups, we're going to start a group with friends of ours for couples that work together, like first dibs on that stuff.
Or like when we had tickets for the live event.
Yes. First dibs on Tiny Rhythms when that's available, like that'll go to Walk in Love subscribers first. And then the last shop benefit. So I'm just going to keep repeating them.
Okay.
1 day early access to the collections, first dibs on anything new that we're launching, and then the best discount codes on anything that we're launching. So normally that's been the podcast.
We're going to take it up.
We're going to take it just 1 percentage point to the subscribers. And so like, I think if you plan to shop each collection, the subscription kind of pays for itself on the savings.
Well, yeah, it would. Yes.
But so those are going to be the shop benefits. But then the discount codes will also be for like the classes or the groups or even Tiny Rhythms or anything else that we do. Like we're just going to honor those subscribers who honestly, if I'm being honest, are going to be you guys who listen to the podcast, which is amazing.
So, which is really cool.
And then the next thing is the giveaway benefits. So we're going to do a subscribers only giveaway once a month. Sometimes that'll be like a Walk in Love gift, like a big Walk in Love gift card. Sometimes it'll be something that we just like love, like.
We love giving away our favorite things. Yep. And right now, at this point in time, we wait until the Christmas extravaganza. We give away our favorite things once a year.
Yeah.
The subscribers would have the ability to get those things or be entered to have those things more often.
And it
kind
will
of
be,
as we discover them.
And you're in a smaller pool of people, bigger chance to win.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that we're going to give away once a month is a 30-minute call with Brooke and I. So if you're...
Does it make me sweat a little bit? Yes.
100%. Will it be amazing? Absolutely. And so, like if you guys want to ask us questions or like literally come and just have a conversation, or like you can come and just like, we can just talk for 30 minutes and that'll be that.
To be a high pressure
or you can come and be like, I have 5 questions that I want answers for, and like we can do our best. But we just love interacting with you guys. It's definitely hard to do when we don't have like a physical space or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And so we thought, man, what a great way. So once a month, we'll just like post again, we'll see how it works. Maybe we'll post like a question block that's like, do you want to win the call? Enter your name here and like
to be entered.
And then we'll just pick someone.
Person who doesn't want the call wins.
I don't want to.
Are you getting this call from this number?
Yeah. So, okay. So that's the giveaway benefits. We're going to do those 2 things a month. Coaching benefits or just like.
I feel like it's more like detailed.
We're definitely going to be more detailed in the way that we
explain the specifics
in the way that we do things in our lives. Cause like obviously the podcast is a way that we do that. We talk about things like our rhythms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think what the subscribers are going to get is instead of just like an overall view, are going to get a much more tactical view of how we like. So like the first thing on that list is our weekly family plan calendar breakdown. So like we'll take a video or videos of us talking about our week, planning it out on the family plan calendar, maybe going over the calendar with the camera, kind of showing what we're working on, et cetera, what's coming up. And like some of it might seem totally ordinary and mundane, but I don't know. There's something like, I don't know. It's just something that we want to like be able to add value in. It's just like, this is how
it's
tactically
kind of like how-tos.
Yeah.
Sort of.
But the reason we're doing it on the subscriber side is like, we want people that are there for it. And so that's kind of the mentality.
Somebody who's come over to Walk in Love because they wanted to win a giveaway a year and a half ago might be like, I'm sorry, what is this?
Yeah. And so we're kind of just like giving a deeper dive all around with
deeper dive. Maybe that's the category.
And then we do this thing called the monthly vibe meeting where it's like we determine the monthly vibe, the vibe for our month, and just sort of some of our goals and break down some of those goals. And so we're going to do that. Subscribers are going to get an inside peek into that. And then the big one, I think that people are just going to be like, yeah, I'm in, is meal planning with Brooke.
Oh.
So weekly or maybe every other week.
I'm not sure exactly the format, but
meal planning with Brooke. She's going to share recipes. She's going to talk about her week, break it down in terms of meals. I'm both excited because like one, this will keep you honest. Like you'll just have to do it.
Yeah.
Which is
There's
awesome.
Some accountability there.
Which is awesome. But 2, I think it's such a huge tension point for so many people.
Oh.
And I think that you have done it in a really beautiful and graceful way for our family. And I'm excited to see that.
So many things
flourish.
Come and go in life.
Yeah.
Like there's seasons, and then you have there's a season with little kids, and then you've got school, and then somebody you've caught, like there's all these seasons, but something that never goes away is getting dressed, like wearing clothes, so we're not naked all the time. And
we live on Maui.
Eating,
I've seen naked
sleeping.
people jump in the ocean.
Like we make food.
Yep.
Sometimes 3 or more times a day.
Yep.
Like what else are we doing like that? Like, so no wonder it's a tension point.
So those will be like the coaching, deeper dive, life skills.
Some of it's kind of similar, but definitely more detailed than like when you were off social media for July and I took over the stories.
Yeah.
I was posting more of just that kind of stuff. But
it's going to be like a more detailed consumer
how-to
version of that.
Version.
Okay, and then the last benefit behind the scenes is one that I'm really excited for is like I want input on upcoming collections. So like when I design collections, I have a screen full of designs, 2 screens full of designs. And it's like, we do our best to like, this one, I think people like this one better than this one. And so I would love just like a little bit more input from people who know our brand, buy from our brand, understand our brand. And so like, I think what I'll do is like, I'll post a subscriber story that's like, do you like this design better or this design?
Right. Or on this color or this color.
And I think that will just be like one that'll help my decision-making process because after you do this for so long, sometimes you're like, I don't know. I'm almost 38. Am I cool at all anymore? Like, do I know what people want? So that behind the scenes, we'll give you an early look at everything. Well, one, you'll get the 1-day early access. So you'll just get to see everything earlier, but we'll probably share like much more raw screenshots of like what's coming, not the like final product when it's here, but you'll probably just see some of the development of it.
Yeah.
And then I think just like, we'll probably end up sharing probably more goofier stuff. I don't know. Like, I feel like what this subscriber thing has done to my mentality is like, it's kind of reinvigorated me to be like, yeah, I like social media, but sometimes I don't like all of social media. Right. And I just like, I don't know, narrowing it down to like the butt clenchers feels so good that it's just like, yeah, I'll share more with them because these are my people.
Right.
And these are the people that I care for because they care for us so well. And so like, yeah, I'm okay to open the door a little bit wider and let them get a bigger glimpse.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I think I feel like sort of reinvigorated about it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All this to say, we're going to start making that content in October. October 1st is kind of when we're going to launch that. But you can go to our Instagram and subscribe today. So much so that I was.
Oh yes, this is good.
The thing popped up and was like,
it popped up for me.
Yeah.
I was under Walk in Love. I'm on a plane and I was like, oh, it says we're eligible for subscribers. So I screenshot it, send it to TJ and say, we're eligible. I'm getting on a flight. I can't do anything about it.
So
now.
I looked into it and it was like, oh, we're not taking any cut. Try it out. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just like make sure that we like click on it. It's like picture price. And I was like, okay, $10 a month. I'll pick that.
Yeah.
And it was like, I just wanted to make sure it didn't go away. Because sometimes Instagram will like you'll have a feature and then all of a sudden you're like, where'd that feature go? And so I was just like, I just want to make sure that we have it. We'll have deeper conversations about what it will look like. And then a few days later, I was going to look at it to just like...
No, I don't even think it was a few days. I feel like it was like 24 hours.
24 hours later, and I'm like, oh, we have one subscriber. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, it's going to be Brooke. Like for whatever reason, I'm like, maybe Brooke was just like seeing what it looked on the other end. And no, it's lo and behold, it's Mackenzie. And so I'm like, well, I don't know who Mackenzie is. So then because you can post stories to subscribers only, I posted a story. It was like, hey, Mackenzie, thank you for being here. But, what do you want to see? Like, that was kind of my mentality. Yeah. And so now Brooke and I, anytime we've been talking about something, we're like, we should run it by Mackenzie first.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder what Mackenzie thinks. We should ask her.
So I go click, click, click.
I go online. I go click, click, click.
She did respond though.
She did,
with some ideas,
she gave us some ideas,
somewhat in line with these. Yeah.
So all that's a long way to the well, but I really wanted to be detailed in my explanation of it.
Yes.
Because it's not just like, hey, we're going to share more. Like I feel invigorated and inspired for it. Yeah. And like, I don't know. Brooke has been kind of a little bit on my case lately that I've kind of been on my own island. And this is accurate. Like, I've been down on myself. I've been feeling frustrated. I've kind of been like, I don't know, recluse in a way. And so like, I don't know, over the last 2 days after that hard conversation we had about that, I feel like, man, I am excited about life and I do have passion. And so like, I don't know if I was like just squashing it down or if I think it was part like I was just squashing it down because of fatigue and like the last year we've had and just like what's happening. And then 2, I think it was because like, what if I get excited about something and no one likes it? And so it's like, oh, then
my whole life.
Yeah. And so I think I was just like experiencing some of that. And then like, I don't know, we had that conversation. Abby started, like, it just feels like, okay, we're kind of settled here, which takes a while to get settled in a new place.
Right. I know, been in this house almost a year.
Yeah. Homeschool we're developing those rhythms. And so it feels like less like, what are we going to do today for school?
Yeah. It seems like less of a stress point.
Yeah. And so, so I'm just super pumped about it.
Yeah.
And
so I'm understanding it correctly.
My hope is that
I like it.
That's what you'll say.
So they can start subscribing now.
Yes.
But the content won't start rolling out till October 1st.
Right. We might post
a thing here or there.
We might post a Mackenzie style story if you subscribe to you directly, just to say thank you. But
what would Mackenzie do?
Yeah, I'll run it by her. See if that's a good idea.
Everybody latches on. It becomes the subscribers. Yeah. What would Mackenzie do? They all have bracelets. Oh, is that a what would you? Oh no, that's not a WWJD bracelet.
Mary?
I don't know.
Matthew? No. So I listen to this podcast.
Yeah. There's a stranger.
Anyway, so we're super stoked about that. I think I'm done talking about it. Brooke, how was your week?
My week was good. I just accidentally bit part of like a hangnail on my finger and it's bleeding everywhere right now. So that's delightful.
Boom. Blood, 1201.
Blood everywhere. My week was good. Let's see. I feel like it's more than a week.
It is.
It is a little more than a week. So last week I left for Austin, which was really fun. I've never been to Austin. You've been a bunch. I have never been. I've been to Texas, but never Austin.
You'll go again in March.
I will be going to Austin again in March with you.
Me. Well, definitely with me and maybe some other people.
That would be so fun. Subscribers, you'll be the first to know. Anyway, smash the subscribe button, comp the merch. So I went to Austin for the Beauty Counter conference, and
you don't have headphones on, so you didn't hear me just say butthole.
No, I did not. I did not hear you just whisper butthole because I don't have headphones on.
Anyways, go on.
Should we insert it into every episode?
So our Abby just told us that
this might be totally false.
This might be false. Know. You know, we don't know how trustworthy Abby is. She's just watching our kids right now. She said that the word bear is in every New Girl episode.
Is said.
And I'm not super familiar. Like, we've watched it a few times.
Yeah. But
it's not like I can't quote it like I can quote The Office.
Not quite, no.
And so, like, I don't know.
I don't know. But why would somebody make that up?
Butthole would definitely be harder to insert.
No. No, I don't mean it. I don't mean insert it like out loud into a conversation. I mean, one of us is trying to sneak it in. Okay, anyway, I went to Austin.
Too far.
Yeah, I went to Austin for the Beauty Counter. I'll call it a conference.
Yeah, it's a conference. It's called their lead conference, right?
It's like their lead conference. So it's 4 consultants. It was really fun. I've never gone.
Sorry, you talking about Beauty Counter or Beauty Encounter?
Stop it. Don't.
My mom, who listens to the podcast, calls it Beauty Encounter. And even though I'm saying this story right now, and she'll listen to this story, $100 bet that the next time she talks about it, she says Beauty Encounter.
Actually, she just texted me the other day about it. I don't have to reread that text. Maybe she didn't say the word Beauty Counter. Maybe she was just talking about ordering with me or asking about Sam. Anyway, so I went. It was super fun. My friend Amber met me there because she's on my team, and I think I talked about this last week or the week before. Like, was excited to see her because I haven't seen her in a while. It was my first in-person event with Beauty Counter because the last few years, of course, haven't happened or have been canceled because of all the COVID things. So it was really, really cool to go. It was like, it was as I expected. I did expect a really high quality event. And then my expectations were met, which was really cool.
What's crazy is the last time you were going to go.
Yes.
We had flown here to stay at the Bethke's house. Last minute trip.
When we jumped on that
and
flight.
And we were like, okay, you're just going to fly from Maui to San Francisco.
For lead.
And do lead. And then I'll just fly home because your mom was with us.
Yeah.
Your mom and the 2 girls at that time.
Yeah.
Back to Pennsylvania. And that'll be fine. Like, it won't be ideal.
Lead was already booked. And then we hopped on the flight to Maui. And I was like, I'm going to be in Maui. Why would I go all the way back?
And then it got canceled because of COVID.
Because COVID just came out.
Yeah. The COVID-19 dropped that week.
They dropped it that week. And not they. You know what I mean. I don't need a message about a conspiracy. I didn't mean they.
Too far.
Yeah. Oh, when?
Someone right now is saying this.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions. Number 1, how dare you?
Yeah. No.
But that's so crazy to me that
we were here, and it was on that trip that I think my mom might have been like, "Hey, this is like happening."
It was like we got home, and then March Madness got canceled.
Like days later.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was really cool. The event was fantastic. The speakers were great. The founder of Spanx, she spoke. She was very funny and super enjoyable. And then, which is funny because we did.
Did she end with saying "Spanx you very much"?
No.
What a miss.
No.
What a 1 star.
I'll message her.
Yeah.
1 star. Everything about you was
I'll
great.
leave a Google review on the
However,
Spanx
my
website.
husband would like to rate your talk 1 star because you didn't end it by saying "Spanx very much." Everybody, see you next year. So that was really enjoyable, and all the other speakers were too. And then blanking on his name now. Brendan something.
Swami.
Anyway,
Samson.
voted the number 1 like personal development coach in the world.
Yeah.
Recently, he's Oprah's coach and a bunch of other people, which was funny because when he was talking about Oprah, he was giving an example of how like even someone like Oprah still has quote unquote failures. Like just because you're successful at one thing doesn't mean that like everything's just going to work out magically and that. And he was like, for heaven's sake, she owns the top of Maui. And everyone sitting around me looked at me like, really? And I was like, yeah, I mean, you can see her property right up there, which was funny. But it was really good. It was so good to see people in person and just people that I've been on Zoom calls with or had voice memos with, like just, finally got
And
to
you hadn't left the island since Christmas.
I hadn't left the island. I ate tacos 5 times.
Nice.
And other stuff. I didn't only eat tacos, but I managed
but that would have been acceptable.
5 times.
That would have been acceptable.
That would have been acceptable. So it was fun. And Amber, who I went with, she actually just posted a reel and it's on my story right now. She did like a little reel recap. And which made me like just to feel excited because it really is. I mean, I love Beauty Counters products. I do.
Yeah, like you're all in. Chicken too tasty.
I'm all in on the actual products because
have we ever told that story?
No, but we can then because they're really because I was talking about that in Austin because they're really, really, really good. What is the coolest part to me is that in a business like this, you do get to do it with other people.
Yeah.
And then the relationships become so fun. And it's like you can hold both. It's both and. Yeah. Where like with Walk in Love, I mean, we have other people
there is one other person.
Yes. No, I know. But I mean, like, they don't have their own Walk in Love businesses.
Right, true that.
And we're all meeting and talking about it and sharing ideas. Like it's not quite the same. And so
which is why I love Integrated so much.
Yes. Yeah. And so it was really fun.
It's almost like if there was a group for like couples that were going through that.
Yeah, man. Like, I feel like I might sign up for that.
Yeah,
I wonder if I could eat tacos while I do it.
You could.
Oh, interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, is there a number we could call? Do you want to tell the chicken too tasty?
Yeah, and finish your beauty counter.
Anyway, it was
you got to see new holiday.
I got to see all the holiday stuff, which
is in a box over there.
Sorry, I just shook the table. It's in a box right over there. It's very exciting.
Very exciting.
Definitely better than last year. Nice. Last year wasn't bad. Last year just didn't have like a really exciting thing.
Yeah.
And this year there's 5 new products in the holiday sets.
Wow.
And then within holiday, of course, is like this shade's different. This is different. But it was just really enjoyable.
Yeah. You came back like kind of inspired and fired up and just
which
like
I think
reinvigorated.
Is the whole point of things like that, right?
Absolutely.
Or the whole point of any sort of like workshop or conference or intensive or masterclass, literally anything. Like that's the point, is that you maybe learn something and you're also reminded, because we had a lot of conversations about this in Austin. Like, should we really go sit in on that? Don't we feel like we already know that? And then we would go sit there because we had nothing else to do on a breakout session. And we all left like, man, that was, I mean, I knew most of that, but it was like really helpful to hear it again.
Like Brookes' excited voice.
You like my amped up guy?
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah.
So it was good. So the chicken.
It really was good. Chicken too tasty.
Chicken too tasty. This is a line that Brooke and I say all the time. Chicken too tasty. So we live in like super volatile cancel culture, triggered by everything, blah 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 blah, and it's like, and so I don't even remember the player or anything about the story other than this guy, a football player, was eating Chick-fil-A, and a reporter got in his grill of like, how could you eat there?
Don't you know what they stand
blah,
for?
blah 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 blah, and he just turned and was like, chicken too tasty. And I just love that mentality of like, and if you want to make a personal decision not to support a company, whatever,
because of XYZ,
that's fine.
It really
like,
is your call.
We've made those decisions. We have friends and family that have made those decisions, and that's great.
Right.
But I just loved that response of just like, oh, chicken too tasty. Like that's why I'm here. I'm here for the chicken sandwiches, whatever about all the other stuff. And so like, I don't know. I've always just really appreciated it.
So we do say that pretty frequently. We're like, I don't know. Hey, chicken too tasty.
Yeah. So the trip was good.
Yeah.
Brooks all fired up, and it really got us talking. And this is the kind of the topic of the day about like, and I've been feeling this for, I don't know,
8 years.
Yeah. For my whole life. I have always been, and this might be partially because of my 7-ness, partially because maybe I'm a middle child. I don't know. There could be a lot of reasons for this. But
I'm interested to hear this because I have reasons too. And mine's like, well, I'm a firstborn, I'm more of a rule follower, and I still feel the same way. I think
that we live in a culture right now, and I felt this more in the Northeast. I think it can be geographical. I think it can be familial. Is that a word?
That is a word. I don't know if that's how you use it though.
I think it can exist in a geographic location. I think it can exist in community. I think it can exist in family. I think it can exist in like schooling or whatever. Is that you have to pick something. But you can really only pick one thing. And so like, Brooke, if you want to sell Beauty Counter, that's your thing, and you can't ever go anywhere else. And
don't be out of that box.
TJ, if you want to sell Walk in Love t-shirts and start a business, you can only do that, and you can never sell anything else or do anything else or be passionate about anything else, because for some reason we believe that if you do, you are now lying, or you're less passionate, or you're not as into it, or
you're desperate,
like there's just a million.
Did you see they're trying that now? Versus like, hey, how cool, they're into that too.
Yeah,
like
and so
the mindset about it.
So I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again because I think it bears repeating. It's like, we moved to Maui, and it's so funny. A friend, Ian, who helps manage and run a car dealership.
Side note, I would like to come up with taglines for everyone we mention, like Brad from Ellis Custom Creations.
Okay. Ian from Carmart.
Okay.
He told me this story, and like, what's crazy is like, he just kind of mentioned it in passing, and it was like, I don't even think he thought twice about it, but it made such an impact on me. And it's so silly that it made such an impact on me, but I'm seriously super grateful for it. We were talking about trucks, and because we were buying a truck, and like, you know, why they're so beneficial. And he's like, oh yeah, like almost all of our salesmen have trucks because they'll surf in the morning and then just put their boards in the back and drive to work. And like their trunks will be dripping off the back of the truck when they get to work.
Their boards, yeah.
And I'm just like, wait, car sales. And if you would have asked me, hey, can car salesmen surf? I would have said absolutely yes.
Right.
But there's something magical about that visual of like, hey, I surfed in the morning and my board was in
suit.
And I sold, well, no one in Hawaii wears a suit, but
true. But just picture people.
And then I sold cars in the afternoon, and then like, and again, if you would have asked me like, are these things allowed? I would have said absolutely yes.
Yes.
But I do believe that some of us feel pressure, whether it's internal or we've put it on ourselves, or it's just from like external forces like parents or family or community or geographic location, that like we can't experiment either and be good at something, or experiment and be bad at something, or we can't just like a lot of things, because if you like a lot of things, that means you're just scattered and unfocused, or you're desperate.
Or you're showing off.
Like we can throw so many reasons at it. And there was something about that conversation that I was just like,
I remember you telling me about that.
I was just like, man, I can be a guy that likes t-shirts.
Yeah.
That's going to try painting.
Right.
That also likes CrossFit and physical fitness.
Yeah.
And that also is like very passionate about Sabbath.
Yeah.
Like I can do and be all these things.
Yeah.
And the only person that's stopping me from doing and being all those things is the pressure that I'm putting on myself, that yes, may be influenced by other people, maybe influenced by geographic location or whatever. But man, since realizing that, I feel like I have experienced a richer and fuller life than ever before. And a lot of that came when we moved to Maui. It was like, I don't know if I just like had all this weird pressure.
I think there was something about moving far, moving friend communities, like just, it was a big move. I think it was a little bit of a reset and a little bit of like a fresh look at
just like
where are we at and who are we and what are we doing?
Who do you want to be and what do you want to do? But in the most positive way.
Yes, not like.
And again, like my friends in Pennsylvania, if I had started painting, I don't think they would have been like, oh, you're a painter now? Maybe some people have said that. And maybe some people have said had those conversations behind my back. Whatever, no biggie.
Right.
But it's like the only person that was stopping me from just jumping into my multi-passionate life was me. Yeah. And so I just felt like I wanted to encourage people today that like you are allowed to like and do a lot of things.
Yes.
And you don't have to justify any of them.
Yeah, no.
And I think what God, when God says, I've come that you have life and life to a full, he's not describing one person with one single narrow-minded vision of life doing that from beginning to end.
Right.
Like, he is describing someone who has eyes open to all the goodness that God has for them and is stepping into that goodness in a lot of different ways in different areas.
Yes.
Because to me, some of the most inspiring people in my life are people who like my dad. He is like a true, interesting Renaissance man.
Right.
You know, like he'll run to work in the morning and then he'll work yard work and then he'll like ride his bike home and then shower in a creek and then like go to wrestling and then
he does wrestling, but then he like knows all history ever and all time.
And so it's
which
like,
is like, whoa, okay, that's over here.
So
you know,
what's crazy is like I've been modeled that my whole life through my dad and
Lots
my mom.
interests,
And my mom has lots of passions and interests, and she can be very passionate about a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, but then all of a sudden I was like pigeonholing myself, which I think has a lot to do with the internet.
I mean, 100%. Because I
kind of ranting. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I didn't used to feel this way. Like, ooh, am I reaching out to too many things? I'll pinpoint it back when we used to shoot weddings all the time.
Yeah.
Now, was that our main interest then? Because that's what we were doing. Yes. But we were interested in other things. And I didn't feel a lot of weird pressure then. But when Instagram started becoming more of a thing, social media, but I'll say specifically Instagram, it was like all these people started showing up, gaining some followings, and we were like, oh, it's just a photo sharing app. Like, here we are with all of our interests. And then we realized the business potential of Instagram. Yep. And every coach, and they're not totally wrong, but every coach was like, okay, narrow it down. Clear your, find clarity in your messaging. Like, what are you doing? Get rid of the extra products, blah, blah, blah. Like, funnel down to like, people should know what you do the second they land on your profile. Which from a business perspective,
super helpful information.
Yes. But if you are a business person, I'll speak specifically to business, who has, and this is what Jordan Lee Dooley talks about a lot. She used to talk about it a little bit more than she does now, but like, you can be a multi-passionate entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You can be a multi-passionate person, period, sans any business. Yeah. But also like if business is one of your passions, it's in your multi-passionate that you love business, and you start turning them all into businesses, that is okay.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And I feel like that pressure came from like,
it was like,
bring it down. Instagram,
focus for your business. And then
it was like, okay, but what if I just really like business and sales and like stuff like that?
But it was almost like you got so much like encouragement to focus down your business to what you do, which again is good advice. Mm-hmm. But then that's pressure there kind of bled into, I think, your normal
personal life because and you were like, but Instagram is kind of my personal life. I mean, I use it for my business, so it's just like, so it got very weird.
And so I've used the phrase, I used it before in an episode where we're telling the Walk in Love stories, like, don't let the internet tell you who to be. And I think that is an important message that we need to hear because I am guilty of that. Like for years, I let it tell me what to be and who to be and how to be.
Or what not to be.
Yeah. And I kind of squelched, talk about painting again, is like, I had that idea to paint for a year. Mm-hmm. And I just like kind of just shoved it way down because I just felt like, man, I'm not allowed to do that because
that's not my thing.
It's not my thing. What if I'm bad? What if people make fun of me? Like, all those things, like all that, like, if you go all to the chairs behind, it's, it's TJ in a yellow sweatshirt with a bowl cut, mm-hmm. who's, knows that he doesn't have as nice clothes as everybody because his family's not as wealthy, mm-hmm. feeling like I don't fit in. I don't belong because this is like, I'm a fraud.
Right.
And that's
always to make it very generalized, that's always your thing.
Yeah. And so I just feel like, man, one, I'm not a fraud because my freedom comes from Christ.
Yes.
And so in him, I am made new.
Yes.
And so through that newness, I have the ability to find and be passionate about a lot of things.
Yeah.
And again, I feel like in this last month or two, I've kind of fallen into a slump of like being down on myself of just like, why would I do that? It's not worth my time. Like, and it's like, well, I want to do that because I'm passionate about it and I like it and I enjoy it. And I feel like I have giftings in that area.
Yes.
And so, I just feel like when we were talking about what we were going to talk about this week, I was just like, I just want to encourage people, one, not to let the internet tell them who to be. Mm-hmm. And two, like, God created you uniquely, fearfully, and wonderfully made with abilities, skills, passions, talents.
Yeah.
And he wants you to use them.
Mm-hmm.
And whether, because you're not using them, like, because I'm not painting for financial glory or fame. I'm not selling t-shirts for, financial glory or fame.
Mm-hmm.
We are selling them because God has given us a gift and it's for his glory.
Right.
We are holding them up at his altar, mm-hmm. not at our altar. And I think I need to remind myself of that way more than I do because mm-hmm. I get into ruts of just like, shouldn't do anything. None of it matters. I don't matter. All that kind of stuff.
Right.
And it's like, well, no, I'm not doing things because because it's going to make me matter. I'm doing things because I want to use my life to worship the Lord.
Yeah. And this is where the devil's so sneaky.
So sneaky.
And what's your phrase? The devil doesn't speak French or whatever?
Yeah, the devil doesn't have a French accent.
Doesn't have a French accent, which we've talked about before, meaning like he's not going to swoop in and say something in your ear and you're like, where did that come from?
You should come and do cocaine with me. Like it's not,
Wait, no, he doesn't have a French accent unless you're French, and then I guess maybe he would have a French accent. But like he's so sneaky. And so you saying all the way in the chairs behind, you picture little TJ and you think about like, I don't belong, I don't matter.
Yeah.
That's where you fit. And so for me, I haven't even looped this all the way around to you yet, but the conversation you were talking about.
Yep.
And then we had my version of that conversation about what do I post to what accounts?
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. And I was thinking to myself, why am I still talking about this when we've had this conversation, me and TJ, 9 times? Why do I keep bringing it up? There's obviously chairs behind here, or it would have been solved on such a surface level.
100%.
And so all the chairs behind for me, mine is I'm afraid of being misunderstood and I'm afraid of being embarrassed. Actually, even more so, I'm afraid of embarrassing myself.
And what's weird is you twirled baton.
So and I survived.
It feels like
I totally survived.
You've kind of already done the most embarrassing thing.
Right. And so I did not twirl my clarinet though. That might have been next level. Should have lit it on fire and then I would have been an internet sensation. Local woman lights up hillside by twirling clarinet on fire. I'd watch that video. I'd subscribe to get that exclusive content. Anyway, and so like
great segue.
Thank you. For me, it's like I am very afraid of being misunderstood,
yes.
Which is why I'm always saying like, I don't know, let me think about it.
Yep.
I don't know if that's the right word. Blah, 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 blah. And so the conversation we had of like, well, what content do I post where and which account and blah, blah, blah. That is a version of I'm afraid I will be misunderstood.
Yeah.
If I put something out there, I'm afraid it'll be taken the wrong way and it'll represent me not like I intended.
Yeah.
And XYZ will happen. And so for me, with all the like multi-passion stuff, what holds me back, which is myself, is the fear of being like, people aren't going to understand my motives. I'm going to be misunderstood and that will cause said thing to happen. And that would be terrible. So I won't do any of it.
Yeah.
Or I'll do one of them because that seems the most acceptable, you know, or whatever.
It's true. And so, and I think people might be listening to this and being like, man, you guys think about this way too much. And like, we've just, for us,
I'm trying to unpack it.
Too.
I'm definitely talking about it a lot.
Yeah.
On a podcast.
But I think like we all do this, even on one-on-one relationships is like, and even in groups and in families and stuff like that. And so like, we're talking about it from a business perspective, but I definitely think people do it. Like, friends will talk down about something they're doing in the name of like, I don't want my friend to think I'm a failure. Like,
right.
I don't want my friend who I respect and love think that I'm failing at this. So I'm just going to like play it cool. Like, it's not like I'm going to squelch my own passion in the name of like, I don't want to potentially be embarrassed or misunderstood or feel like I'm a fraud. And it's like, we do this but it's like your friends and your family, hopefully healthy friends and family would probably be your biggest supporters and cheerleaders, hopefully.
Yeah.
And so it's like, why would we do that around them?
Right.
Like,
or I get afraid that like they'll, let's use Beauty Counter specifically. Like, I'm afraid that they'll be like, oh, she's only talking about this, so I buy something.
Right.
Which is like not my motive.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm having a conversation about it in person.
Yeah.
And again, I would hope that close friends and family would know that.
Yeah.
And just enjoy talking about something I love with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just think like, again, my encouragement today is you can have more passions. You can be passionate about a lot of things. Mm-hmm. Don't squelch your passion. Like we talked about that a lot before. It's just like, if there's something that's like burning with the fire of 1,000 suns inside of you, like Sunny when she found out Abby was coming.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the Lord trying to tell you something. That's how I feel like if the thing isn't sinful or, like if it is in line with his way and his teachings and his word, then I feel like he's giving you that passion for a purpose and a reason.
Yeah.
And whether it becomes something big or it stays something small,
right.
Like, like pursue it.
Yeah.
And fight for it and tell people you're excited about it. And like, that's okay. Like you don't have to squelch it, and you don't have to limit it to just one thing because that's what you're known for. You're just the walk and love guy. You can't be anything else.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is like the second I started painting, almost the entire walk and love community was like, this is awesome. This is so great. Yeah. This is so cool. And so it's like,
nobody was like, what are you, desperate? Or, what a dumb hobby. Like nobody said anything.
No one said anything like that.
Not.
And so it's just like, we end up being our own worst enemy because we end up, and that's why we say the devil doesn't speak in a French accent, because he's telling me, hey, you're not going to be good enough. People are going to make fun of you for this. This is dumb. People who sell t-shirts don't also paint, people who surf don't also sell cars. Like we and so that's why that's such a silly story, but like it really did have quite an impact on me. Just the visual of it. Like, my paintbrushes are the board dripping out of the side of the car. Like, and so it's just like, I don't know. I just felt the need to encourage someone out there about this.
It's Mackenzie, isn't it?
It's probably for Mackenzie, but I'm glad you guys are all here.
That's good. Yeah.
All right. Well, Brooke has to take Sunny to the dentist.
Yes, I do.
So we got to wrap this up. Again, you can subscribe on Instagram. That's a great way to support us. But we think it's going to add a ton of value, and we're really, really excited about it. That content will start to go up October 1st. So you can wait till then to subscribe, and then you'll get 1 day early access to the Christmas collection. Like that'll be the first huge perk in terms of that shopping side of things. And then we'll do the giveaways for the month of October. But you can start to subscribe now. And if you do subscribe, send us a message. And if you have anything else to add, not going to say we're going to take all these ideas, but if you're like, what would really be awesome is if you did XYZ, remember, we're only 2 people. So this is what we feel comfortable being like, we can offer this and not go crazy.
Yeah.
But again, if like we see the same request 100 times or whatever, we will, obviously consider it very, very heavily.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it.
That's good.
No, I think I'm gonna save that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for making us a part of your week.
Okay.
I love you. Bye.